The Omega wolf in my trap was dying, and my wolf was already screaming mine before I even knew what I was claiming. His scent hit me like a gut punch. Honey and wildflowers drowning under terror and old blood. And when those dark, broken eyes locked onto mine, I knew 3 things. He was pregnant, he was running from something worse than death, and I was about to burn down the world for him. Hey! Welcome to Imagine BL Story. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really encourages my work and helps me bring you more stories. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy today's story. I should have killed him. That's what I did with injured wolves. Quick, clean, merciful. I'd done it 100 times in these mountains, checking my traps every dawn. But my hand wouldn't reach for my gun. Instead, I stood there watching him. He wasn't struggling anymore. Just lay there in the snow, his leg caught in the steel jaws, breathing shallow and rapid. His body curled protectively around his swollen belly. An Omega, pregnant Omega, in my mountains, in my trap. Mine, my alpha snarled. Ours, protect, claim. He was small, too small. Even accounting for malnutrition, he looked like he'd snap in half if I breathed on him wrong. His muddy gray-brown coat was matted with blood and dirt. Ribs showed stark against his sides. His muzzle was scarred. But his eyes held something I'd never seen in a trapped animal before. Recognition, intelligence, and fear. Not of me, but of what came after me. Easy, I said, voice rough. I crouched down, hands visible. That leg's caught bad, and you're bleeding out. I've got a cabin a mile west. Medical supplies, food, heat. You can heal up, have those pups somewhere safe, and then leave whenever you want. Nothing, not even a twitch. Look, I don't know what you're running from, but I'm guessing it's bad. And I'm guessing you'd rather die out here than go back to it. I met those broken eyes. But you're not just dying for yourself anymore, are you? His gaze flickered down to his belly for just a second. Those pups deserve a chance, I said quietly. Even if you don't think you do. Slowly, so slowly I almost missed it, he lowered his head to the snow. Submission, or surrender, or maybe just exhaustion. Good, I'm gonna come closer now. Don't bite me. Up close, he was worse than I'd thought. The trap had bitten deep into his foreleg, bone visible through torn flesh. Infection had already started. He had other injuries too, old ones, mostly healed wrong. Poorly set rib. Scars crisscrossing his shoulders and flanks. Bite marks on his neck that made my alpha snarl with rage. Someone had hurt him. Repeatedly. Methodically. I worked the trap release as gently as I could. The jaws opened with a metallic clank, and he yelped. A sharp, broken sound that made my chest ache. He tried to run. Muscles bunched, body shaking with effort. But the moment he put weight on that leg, he collapsed with a cry that was far too human. Then he shifted. Fur rippled into skin, bones cracking and reforming, violent, wrong, like his body couldn't hold the wolf shape anymore. And suddenly, there was a man in the snow, naked, shivering, tiny. He couldn't have been more than 25. Dark hair plastered to his skull. Skin pale as death except where bruises bloomed. He was curled on his side, one hand pressed to his swollen stomach, the other clutching his mangled leg. His face was heartbreakingly beautiful, fine-boned and delicate, with those same dark eyes now staring at me with naked terror. Please, he whispered, voice hoarse and ruined. Please don't send me back. Just kill me, please. Hey! I shrugged out of my jacket without thinking, draping it over him. Swallowed him whole. No one's killing anyone, and no one's sending you anywhere. You're safe. He laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. Safe, right? What's your name? Mine's Mathias. Quinn. My name is Quinn. Quinn. I tested it and my wolf purred. Dangerous. Okay, Quinn. I'm gonna pick you up now because you can't walk and we need to get you warm. Tell me if that's not okay. His jaw worked. Does it matter? Yes. He blinked, like the concept was foreign. Then, barely, okay. Lifting Quinn felt like holding something infinitely precious and infinitely fragile. He weighed almost nothing, all sharp angles and jutting bones. He didn't fight, didn't protest, just went rigid in my arms, breathing quick and panicked. You're okay, I murmured, starting the hike back. I've got you. He wasn't okay, not even close. But as I carried him through the snow, feeling his heartbeat flutter against my chest like a trapped bird, I made a silent vow. I'd make him okay, or I'd die trying. My cabin wasn't much. 2 rooms, a wood stove, Enough supplies to survive a winter alone. But it was warm. I carried Quinn straight to the bed. He hadn't said a word during the entire walk, just stayed frozen in my arms. When I set him down, he immediately curled into himself, making his body as small as possible. Need to check your leg, I said, moving to my medical kit. It's infected. If we don't clean it. I know. His voice was flat, empty. Do what you want. I stopped and looked at him. He wasn't meeting my eyes anymore. His gaze was fixed on the wall, distant and glassy, like he'd vacated his body entirely. I'd seen that look before, on soldiers, on victims, on people who'd learned that fighting back only made things worse. My wolf wanted to rage, wanted to find whoever taught him that compliance and tear them apart. Instead, I sat down on the floor, putting myself below him. Quinn, look at me. Slowly, those dark eyes slid to mine, wary, waiting for punishment. I'm going to ask you before I do anything, and if you say no, I stop. Understand? You're in control here. He stared at me like I was speaking a foreign language. Can I clean your leg? A pause. Then, barely, yes. I worked carefully, narrating every movement. His skin was clammy, fever burning beneath the surface. Infection was setting in fast. Who's hunting you? I asked quietly, tying off the bandage. His whole body went tense. No one. Quinn. They won't find me here. Will they come looking? Silence. Quinn. They'll come. His hand moved to his stomach, protective. Instinctive. They always come. My wolf snarled. Then we'll be ready. He laughed that broken glass laugh. You don't understand. You can't fight them. There's too many. I didn't push. Not yet. Instead, I heated up broth and brought it to him with crackers. He stared at the bowl like it might bite him. Not poisoned. Please. For the pups if not for you. That did it. He took the bowl with shaking hands and drank like his body suddenly remembered it needed fuel. He finished it, then looked at me with something like shame. Can I? Is there more? As much as you want. I refilled it twice more before he finally stopped, leaning back with exhaustion written in every line of his body. Thank you, he whispered. You're running a fever. Infection's bad. You need antibiotics, rest, and probably a real doctor. No doctors. Quinn. No. Doctors ask questions. Questions lead to reports. Reports lead to... He stopped, breathing hard. No doctors. Okay, but I need to know what I'm dealing with. Are you hurt anywhere else? His hand moved to his ribs. Broken. Healed wrong. But it's fine. It's not fine. It's fine. His eyes flashed, the first real spark of defiance. I've survived worse. I leaned forward. How far along are you? 7 months. Maybe 8. You don't know? I stopped counting. Easier that way. My wolf paced and snarled inside me. The pups. Are they? They're fine. Fierce. Protective. They're strong. They'll survive. Even if you don't? He met my eyes. Especially then. That's not going to happen. You don't know that. I do. I moved to the window. Because you're not alone anymore. And I don't let people die on my watch. Why? The question was soft. Confused. You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. Because no one deserves what was done to you. I turned to face him. And because my wolf decided you were mine the second I scented you. And in this case, he's right. Quinn stared at me. I don't understand. You don't have to. Not yet. I grabbed a blanket, tossed it to him. Sleep. We'll figure out the rest tomorrow. He caught it but didn't move. Where will you? Floor's fine. Silence. Then, Mathias. Yeah. If they come, promise you won't let them take the pups. Promise me. Even if they take me. No one's taking you. I said it with every ounce of alpha command I had. Or them. I promise. Eventually, I heard his breathing even out, slip into something like sleep. I stayed awake. Because Quinn was right, they would come. Whoever they were, they'd come looking for their missing Omega. For his pups. And when they did, I'd break every promise I'd ever made to stay civilized. Starting with the one about not killing without cause. My sister's face floated through my mind as I stared at the ceiling. Elena. Sweet, bright Elena who'd been taken when she was 19. An Omega like Quinn. I'd searched for 2 years. Followed every lead. Burned through every connection. And when I finally found the trafficking ring that had taken her, I was too late. She'd been dead for 2 months. But before she died, She'd left a note scrawled on the wall of her cell. I couldn't be clean. I killed everyone in that building. Every single one. Then I'd burned it to the ground. And I'd sworn I'd never let it happen again. Never let another Omega suffer what she'd suffered. Never arrive too late. Quinn whimpered in his sleep, a soft, broken sound that cut through my thoughts. I was on my feet before I'd consciously decided to move. He was tangled in the blanket, trembling, muttering something I couldn't make out. Quinn, you're safe. You're in the cabin. He bolted upright with a gasp, eyes wild and unseeing, scrambling backward until he hit the wall, hands up defensively. Please, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Quinn, I stayed where I was, hands visible. It's Mathias. You're safe. It was just a dream. His eyes focused slowly. I'm sorry. I didn't. Stop apologizing. You have nothing to be sorry for. He pulled his knees to his chest, as much as his belly would allow. They were here. In the dream. They found me, and they're not here. But they will be. Then we'll handle it. You keep saying we. He looked at me. Why? You could turn me in. Get a reward. Or just leave me somewhere. Walk away. I could. But I won't. Why not? Because you're mine. Because my wolf won't let me. Because you look at me like you're waiting for the world to end and I want to prove it won't. Because it's the right thing to do, I said instead. He studied me for a long moment, those dark eyes searching for the lie, for the catch, for the moment when the mask would slip and I'd become like all the others. Whatever he saw must have satisfied him because he slowly relaxed just a fraction. I can't pay you, he said quietly. Didn't ask you to. I can't. I'm not, he struggled with the words. If you're expecting, if you think that I'll stop. I kept my voice gentle but firm. I'm not expecting anything. You're here because you need help, and I can give it. That's all. No one does that. Not for free. I do. Silence. Then, so soft I almost missed it. You're very strange. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Been called worse. The corner of his mouth twitched. Not quite a smile, but close. Progress. Tell me about them. The pups. Do you know what they are? His hand moved to his stomach. One of each, I think. I can feel them. They're active. Strong. Have you thought about names? River. And sky. Things that are free. Things that move and fly and can't be caged. My throat felt tight. Those are perfect names. They deserve to be free. Even if I never am. You will be. You don't know that. I do. I leaned forward. Whatever you're running from, whoever's hunting you, we'll stop them. I have resources. Connections. I've taken down trafficking rings before. Trafficking ring? He laughed, but there was no humor. Is that what you think this is? Isn't it? He was quiet. Then, it's worse. How much worse? The kind where people pay money to breed specific omegas. Where they track bloodlines like prize horses. Where they use us until we break, and then they use us anyway. My vision went red. Names. Give me names. No, because I know what you'll do. You'll go after them, and they'll kill you, and then they'll find me, and river and sky will be born in a cage. His voice broke. I can't lose anyone else. Who did you lose? He looked away. It doesn't matter. It does to me. The best thing you can do is let me rest here for a few days. Let me heal enough to move, and then I'll go. I'll disappear. And you'll be safe. I don't want to be safe. I want you to be safe. That's not how this works. Then we'll change how it works. He shook his head. You're insane. Probably. But you're stuck with me anyway. So get used to it. He didn't respond. But as I settled back down, I heard him whisper, thank you. 2 words. But they felt like a victory. Outside, the wind howled through the pines. Snow continued to fall, covering our tracks, buying us time. How much time, I didn't know. But I'd use every second to make sure Quinn never went back to that hell. Even if it meant painting these mountains red. On the 3rd day, I woke to find him sitting up in bed, watching me with those dark eyes. You talk in your sleep, he said. You said a name. Elena. My chest tightened. My sister. Dead. 6 years ago. Traffickers took her. By the time I found her, I stopped. Doesn't matter. It matters. That's why you saved me. Because you couldn't save her. Maybe. I poured coffee, brought him one. Or maybe I saved you because you needed saving and I was there. Does the reason matter? He took the cup, our fingers brushing. He didn't flinch this time. Progress. I need to tell you something, he said suddenly. Okay. They're not going to stop looking. The people I escaped from, they run a breeding program. High-end clients pay millions for specific bloodlines. And I'm valuable. Rare omega markers. Strong genetics. I've produced 11 successful pregnancies in 4 years. The coffee turned to ash in my mouth. 11? They take them immediately after birth. I never even held them. Never knew if they were boys or girls. His voice cracked. River and sky are different. I hid the pregnancy as long as I could. When they finally figured it out, they started talking about buyers. Special clients who wanted match sets. Twin alpha pups from a prime omega. My cup shattered in my hand. I didn't feel the pain. Just rage. Mathias. I'm going to kill them. Every single one. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't. The operation is run by Victor Cross. He's not just some trafficker, he's connected. Politicians, law enforcement, pack alphas. Private security force. Military-grade compound in the Northern Territories. And he, Quinn's hand moved to his neck. He's the one who marked me. Claimed ownership. Even now, I can feel the bond pulling. Like a leash. I crossed to him, knelt beside the bed. Let me see. He pulled down his collar. The scar was deliberate, precise. A brand burned into the skin. A stylized K, surrounded by a circular pattern. My wolf howled. A howl split the morning. Distant but clear. Wolf song, echoing through the mountains. Quinn went white. They're here. I moved to the window. 3 shapes moving through the trees, wolves, 2 coordinated to be wild. Hunters. How many did he send? I asked, loading my rifle. At least a dozen last time someone tried to run. Quinn struggled out of bed. Mathias, you have to go. If they find you with me, I'm not going anywhere. Another howl, closer. 5 now. Quinn grabbed my arm. Please. I can't watch another person die because of me. Just go. I cupped his jaw. He froze. Listen to me very carefully. I have spent 6 years hunting monsters. I have tracked, trapped, and killed things that would give Victor Cross nightmares. And right now, I'm the most dangerous thing in these mountains. So you're going to stay here, keep the door locked, and trust me. Can you do that? He stared at me. You're insane. You mentioned that before. I grabbed my weapons. Don't open the door for anyone but me. And if things go bad, if I don't come back in an hour, there's a go bag under the bed. Money, supplies, fake IDs. Head south to the ranger station. Ask for Martins. He'll help. Mathias. 1 hour, Quinn. That's all I need. I was out the door before he could argue, shifting mid-stride. I killed the first 2 quickly. Silent. Efficient. The remaining 3 knew something was wrong. I forced my way into their mental frequency with all the alpha dominance I had. They're dead. You're next. I picked them off one by one, using terrain I knew better than my own heartbeat. The last one shifted to human form, pulled a gun. Cross sends his regards. The Omega is property of the syndicate. Return him and walk away, or... I shifted mid-leap, landing with my knife already in motion. It entered under his ribs. Tell Cross, I said as he gurgled his last breath. That Quinn belongs to me now, and if he wants him back, he can come collect the bodies. 5 down. But Quinn said a dozen. Where were the others? A scream from the cabin answered that question. I ran. The door was broken, hanging off its hinges. Inside, Quinn was backed against the wall, one hand protecting his stomach, the other holding a kitchen knife. 3 wolves surrounded him, not attacking, just herding. Waiting. For me. There you are, one of them said, shifting to human form. Tall, scarred, grinning. We were told the Omega might have picked up a stray. Didn't realize he'd found himself an alpha. His eyes raked over me. Victor's going to love this. Leave, I said simply. While you still can. He laughed. You killed 5 of ours. You really think? I didn't let him finish. Just moved, faster than he expected. My hand closed around his throat, lifted him off the ground. I said leave. The other 2 shifted, snarling. But I squeezed and their leader made a choking sound. Call them off, or I crush his windpipe and take my chances with the 2 of you. The leader managed a gurgling command. The 2 wolves backed off, whining. Good. I threw him toward the door. He crashed into the wall. Now get out of my territory. Tell Victor that Quinn is under my protection. Tell him that if he sends anyone else, they won't be coming back. And tell him I'm looking forward to meeting him." The leader staggered to his feet, glaring. "You just signed your death warrant. Get in line." They left. I watched until they disappeared into the trees, then turned to Quinn. He was shaking, the knife still clutched in white-knuckled fingers. "Are you hurt?" He shook his head. "They didn't touch me, just surrounded me, waited for you. Smart. They knew I'd come running." I gently took the knife from his hand, grabbed a blanket. Still naked, still covered in blood. "Victor needs to know what he's up against." Quinn stared at me. "You're not afraid of him. Should I be?" "Yes, he'll send more. Better trained. Better armed." "Quinn." I caught his chin, tilted his face up. "I need you to understand something. I'm not some random alpha who stumbled across you. I'm a hunter. I've spent 6 years dismantling operations like Victor's. I have resources, connections, and a very specific set of skills that make me a nightmare for people like him. So yes, he'll send more. And yes, it'll get worse before it gets better." "Then why?" "Because you're worth it. Because those pups are worth it. Because I took one look at you and my wolf decided you were ours, and I'm done fighting it. So if Victor wants you back, he'll have to go through me. And I promise you, he won't." Quinn's breath hitched. We were close now, close enough that I could see gold flecks in his dark eyes. "I don't understand you," he whispered. "You don't have to. Not yet. You're going to die for me. Maybe. But at least I'll die for something that matters." He made a sound, half laugh, half sob, and then, without warning, pressed his forehead to my chest. Not a hug. Not quite. Just contact. Connection. "Thank you," he breathed, "for not letting them take me." I wrapped my arms around him carefully. He didn't pull away, just stood there, trembling, letting me hold him while the adrenaline drained away. "We need to go," I said finally. "They'll be back with reinforcements. We have maybe 6 hours." "No." Quinn pulled back, met my eyes. "No more running. I'm tired of running." "Quinn, if we run, they'll find us. They always find us. But if we stay, if we fight..." His jaw set. "I want to fight. I want them gone. All of them. I want my children to be free. Really free. And that won't happen as long as Victor's alive." Something fierce and possessive roared through me. "You're sure?" "I'm sure." "Then we fight. But we do it smart. Strategic." I grabbed my phone, started scrolling. "I call in backup, we plan this properly, and we make sure when we move against Victor, he doesn't see us coming." "You have backup?" "Martins, tracker, ex-military. Sarah, tech specialist, combat medic. Gray, interrogator. And a few others who've been waiting for a reason to take down the syndicate." "The syndicate?" "That's what Victor calls his operation. High-end trafficking ring masquerading as a genetics facility. I've been building a case against him for 2 years. You're the missing piece. The witness who can bring it all down." Understanding dawned in his eyes. "You're not just a hunter." "No. I'm the hunter they send when the first ones fail." I hit Martins's number. And Victor Cross just made the biggest mistake of his life. The call connected. "Martins, it's Mathias. I need you at the northern cabin. Full tactical gear. Bring everyone." "What's the situation?" "War," I said simply. "We're going to war." Martins arrived first, just after sunset. Quinn tensed at the sound of his truck, hand moving instinctively to his stomach. "It's okay. That's Martins. He's good people." Martins stepped out, 6'4" of solid muscle, ex-military, best tracker I'd ever met. He took one look at the blood-stained snow and whistled low. "So when you said war, you weren't exaggerating." 5 down. 3 sent back with a message. "More coming." Inside, Quinn assessed Martins carefully. Catalogued the size, the strength, the potential threat. "Quinn, this is Martins. He's going to help us." Martins stayed by the door, making himself small. "Sir, Mathias said you'd been through hell. I'm not here to add to it. Just here to help." Quinn blinked. "You called me sir. You prefer something else?" "I know. It's just..." He looked at me, confused. "That's because you're not property," Martins said gently. "You're a person who's been hurt, and we're here to make sure the people who hurt you pay for it." Something shifted in Quinn's expression. Not quite trust, but the beginning of it. "Okay." We filled Martins in on the situation. "We need a safe house," he said. "Somewhere fortified." "I have a place." Quinn's voice was quiet but steady. "Before they took me, a cabin in the Southern Territories. Remote. Off-grid. My mother left it to me. No one knows about it except me. Not even Victor? I never told him. Never told anyone. It's the only thing I kept for myself. Martins nodded. Move Quinn there. Fortify it. Use this place as a decoy. Sarah arrived an hour later. 5'0" of controlled chaos. Purple hair. Too many piercings. Eyes that missed nothing. Where is he? She demanded, then spotted Quinn. Oh, honey, come here. Before anyone could stop her, she crossed the room and pulled Quinn into a hug. He went rigid, but Sarah just held him gently. You're safe now. We've got you. And we're going to burn Victor Cross's entire operation to the ground. I promise. Quinn made a choked sound. Then, slowly, his arms came up to return the hug. His shoulders shook. There you go. Let it out. You've earned it. I watched, something warm and painful expanding in my chest. Quinn hadn't cried once since I'd found him. But here, in this stranger's arms, he finally did. After a moment, Quinn pulled back, wiping his eyes. Sorry. I don't. Stop apologizing for being human. Sarah cupped his face. Okay, first things first. Medical check. I need to make sure you and the babies are stable. You're a doctor? Combat medic. Close enough. She guided him to the bed. Sit. Let me look at that leg. Sarah was syndicate, I said quietly. Different operation, same monsters. She got out 3 years ago. Sarah glanced back. I was a breeder too, for 2 years. So yeah, I understand. Which means I know what you're going through. And I'm here to tell you, it gets better. Slowly, painfully, but it gets better. Did you have children? 4. Sarah's voice went flat. Never got to hold them either. But that's why I do this now. Because maybe I can't save my kids. But I can save someone else's. Quinn's hand found hers. Squeezed. I'm sorry. Me too. Sarah checked his injuries, rattled off a supply list for Martins. Then her expression shifted. I need to examine your bonding scar. The one Cross gave you. If it's a true claiming mark, it could be tracking you. Some alphas embed pheromone markers that act like beacons. Quinn went pale. He can find me? Even here? Maybe. I need to check. I'll do it, I said. If Quinn's comfortable with me looking. Quinn stared at me. Why you? Because you trust me more than you trust anyone else in this room. And because my wolf will kill anyone who hurts you, including me. So you're safe. Always. He considered this. Then, barely audible, okay. I knelt beside the bed. Quinn tilted his head to expose the mark. Up close, it was worse than I'd thought. A deliberate brand, burned deep. The K was surrounded by a circular pattern that looked almost ritualistic. Can you feel this? I touched the edge gently. Quinn flinched but didn't pull away. Yes, tingles, like something under the skin. Damn. Sarah leaned in, expression grim. That's a pheromone tracker. Military grade. Mathias, he can find Quinn anywhere within a 100-mile radius. Can we remove it? Surgery. Risky, especially with Quinn being pregnant. But yes. How risky? 10% chance of complications. But if we don't remove it, Cross will find him within 48 hours. Guaranteed. Quinn's hand found mine, gripped tight. Do it. Quinn. Do it. I won't be his property anymore. I won't let him use this to hurt my children. So cut it out. Please. I looked at Sarah. She nodded. I can do it here. Local anesthetic, surgical tools. But Mathias, you'll need to hold him. It's going to hurt. I can handle pain, Quinn said. Not this kind. This kind goes bone deep. You're going to want to shift, to fight, to run. That's where Mathias comes in. Quinn turned to me, fear and trust warring in his eyes. You'll hold me? If you need me to. I need you to. The surgery took 30 minutes. Quinn screamed for 28 of them. I held him through all of it. Arms locked around his chest. One hand covering his mouth when the screams got too loud. The other intertwined with his fingers. He thrashed, fought, tried to shift. And I held him through it all, whispering in his ear. You're okay. I've got you. Almost done. You're so strong. So brave. Almost there. When Sarah finally pulled the tracker free. A tiny, disgusting piece of tech embedded in scar tissue. Quinn went limp in my arms, sobbing. Done, Sarah said, voice shaking. It's done. You're free. Quinn turned his face into my chest and broke. Really, truly broke. And I held him while he cried, while he shook, while he finally let himself feel everything. "I've got you," I murmured into his hair. "You're safe. You're free. They can't find me now?" His voice was muffled against my shirt. "No, never again." He clung tighter. "Promise. I promise." Sarah cleaned up quietly, disposed of the tracker, bandaged Quinn's neck. Martin stood guard, and I just held Quinn, feeling his heartbeat against mine, his breath slowing, his body finally relaxing. "Mathias." His voice was small. "Yeah. When this is over, when Victor's gone and the pups are safe, will you still want me around?" The question made my chest ache. "What? I'm broken. Used. I can't. I don't know if I can ever be normal again. So I need to know." His eyes searched mine. "Is this just duty? Just the alpha wanting to protect the Omega? Or—" I kissed him. Didn't think about it. Didn't plan it. Just leaned down and pressed my lips to his, gentle and careful and desperate all at once. He froze. For one horrible second, I thought I'd miscalculated, pushed too hard, broken the fragile trust we'd built. Then he kissed me back. It wasn't fireworks. Wasn't explosive. It was soft and uncertain and tasted like tears and hope and new beginnings. His hand came up to cup my jaw, trembling, like he couldn't quite believe this was real, like he was afraid I'd disappear if he held on too tight. I pulled back just enough to rest my forehead against his, our breaths mingling in the small space between us. "I want you," I said, voice rough with emotion. "Not because you're Omega, not because you need protecting, but because you're you. Because you're brave and strong and you love your children more than life itself. Because when I look at you, my wolf doesn't just see a mate. I see home. I'm not. I can't be what you need. You're perfect." I wiped a tear from his cheek with my thumb, gentle, reverent. "And when this is over, when you're safe and healed and ready, I'm going to court you properly, take you on dates, let you decide if you want me the way I want you. But right now," I kissed his forehead, soft and lingering. "Right now, just let me keep you safe." Quinn's breath hitched, and his fingers tightened in my shirt like I was the only solid thing in his world. "You're really insane. Completely." I smiled against his skin. "Is that a problem?" He smiled back. Small, fragile, real, and more beautiful than anything I'd ever seen. "No, I think I like it." From across the room, Sarah cleared her throat. "Hate to interrupt, but we have company. 3 vehicles coming up the mountain road. Fast." Martin's was already at the window, rifle in hand. "Not ours. Mathias." I was up instantly, settling Quinn back against the pillows. "How many?" "At least 15. Maybe 20. They're not trying to be subtle." "Good." I grabbed my weapons, started loading. "Quinn, you stay here with Sarah. Martin's and I will." "No." Quinn struggled to sit up. "Let me help. I can fight. You just had surgery and you're 7 months pregnant with twins." I cupped his face. "Please, let me do this. But, trust me." I kissed him again, quick and fierce, pouring everything I couldn't say into it. "I'll come back. I promise." He searched my eyes, then nodded reluctantly. "Come back. Always." Martin's and I moved outside, taking positions in the treeline. The vehicles were closer now, SUVs, expensive, heavily modified. "These aren't hunters," Martin's muttered. "These are soldiers." "Good. Soldiers can be killed." The vehicles stopped 50 yards from the cabin. Doors opened. Men poured out, 23 I counted. All armed. All wearing tactical gear. And at the center, stepping out of the lead SUV like he owned the world, was Victor Cross. I'd seen pictures, but in person he was worse. Tall, pale, with cold eyes and a colder smile. He looked at the cabin, then at the treeline where we were hidden, like he knew exactly where we were. "Mathias Kane," he called out, voice carrying easily. "I know you're here. I know you have my property. And I'm here to make you an offer." I didn't respond, just kept him in my sights. "Return the Omega, and I'll let you live. You can even keep the pups as compensation. But the Omega, Quinn, he's mine. Legally purchased. Legally owned. This doesn't have to end in bloodshed." My finger tightened on the trigger. "Or," Victor said, smile widening, "we can do this the hard way. Your choice." I took the shot. The bullet caught Victor in the shoulder. Not fatal, but enough to send him stumbling back. His men erupted into chaos, diving for cover, returning fire. Martin's and I were already moving, using the terrain, picking them off one by one. But Victor just laughed. He straightened, touched his shoulder where blood was spreading, and laughed. Mathias Kane, the famous hunter. I was hoping you'd choose violence. The air shimmered around him. His form flickered, and suddenly there were 3 of him. Identical, moving in different directions. Damn, Martins breathed. He's an illusionist. Rare, dangerous, nearly impossible to kill because you never knew which one was real. Quinn. Victor's voice came from all 3 versions simultaneously. Come out now, and I'll make Mathias's death quick. Keep hiding, and I'll make him beg for it. Don't listen to him, I shouted toward the cabin. Stay inside. But the door opened. Quinn stood in the doorway, pale and shaking, Sarah trying to hold him back. Stop, he called out. Stop. I'll go with you. Just don't hurt them. Please. No. The word tore out of me. I started toward the cabin, but Martins grabbed my arm. It's a trap. I don't care. Quinn. Victor's smile widened. All 3 versions moved closer. There's my good boy. Now come here. Slowly. Quinn took a step forward. Then another. Sarah was screaming at him to stop, but he kept walking, one hand on his stomach, the other hanging loose at his side. That's it. Such an obedient little Omega. Did you really think some backwoods hunter could keep you safe? Quinn was 10 feet from the nearest Victor now. 5 feet. Close enough to touch. I never wanted to escape you, Quinn said quietly. I wanted to kill you. And then he shifted. It happened so fast, fur and fangs and fury. Quinn's wolf form lunged at the center Victor, jaws closing around his throat, and the other 2 illusions flickered and died. Real. He'd found the real one. Victor screamed, tried to throw him off, but Quinn held on like death itself. Blood sprayed. Victor's men hesitated, unsure whether to shoot. I didn't hesitate. Martins and I opened fire, cutting through Victor's soldiers. They scattered, some returning fire, some running. Within seconds, half were down. Within a minute, the rest were retreating. But Victor was still alive, still fighting. He managed to get his hands around Quinn's wolf form, trying to choke him. I crossed the distance in seconds, shifted mid-stride, and hit Victor like a freight train. We went down in a tangle of limbs and blood. Quinn released him, stumbled back, and I took over. We fought across the clearing, claws and teeth and savage, primal rage. Victor landed hits that would have dropped a normal wolf. I barely felt them, just kept coming, kept hurting him, making him pay for every second of Quinn's suffering. You can't win, Victor gasped, human again, bleeding from a dozen wounds. Even if you kill me, the syndicate, they'll never stop. Then I'll kill them too, one by one, until there's no one left to hurt people like Quinn. People like... Victor laughed, wet and horrible. You think he's special? He's product. I've broken 100 Omegas just like him. He's nothing. I felt Quinn's presence before I saw him. Human again, standing beside me, breathing hard, blood on his lips, murder in his eyes. I'm not nothing, Quinn said quietly. I'm the one who survived you. I'm the one who's going to watch you die. And I'm the one who's going to raise my children in a world where you don't exist. Victor's smile faltered. For the first time, I saw real fear in his eyes. Any last words? I asked. The syndicate will fall. Quinn's voice was ice. Because I know where all the records are kept. I know where all the facilities are. I know everything, Victor. I listened. I remembered. And now I'm going to burn it all down. Understanding dawned on Victor's face. Horror. Rage. I ended it. Quick. Clean. Merciful, which was more than he deserved. Victor Cross died in the snow, and I felt nothing but relief. The cleanup took hours. Martins handled the bodies, the evidence, the cover story. Sarah tended to Quinn's new injuries, and I stood outside the cabin, covered in blood, shaking with adrenaline and the terrible knowledge that this wasn't over. Not yet. Quinn found me there, wrapped in a blanket, pale but steady. You killed him. Would you have preferred I didn't? He was quiet for a long moment. Then, no. I'm glad he's dead. Does that make me a monster? No. It makes you a survivor. Quinn stepped closer, close enough that I could feel his warmth. You were right. Earlier, when you said you wanted me, my breath caught. Quinn, I want you too. His voice was soft but certain. Not because you saved me, not because my wolf recognizes your alpha, but because you're good, because you see me as a person, because when you hold me, I feel safe for the first time in 6 years. You just had surgery. You just killed a man. Maybe we should. I'm not asking you to claim me right now. A ghost of a smile crossed his lips. But when this is over, when the syndicate is gone and River and Sky are born and I'm healed, ask me again. Court me. Let me choose you the way you've already chosen me. I cupped his face with both hands, careful of his injuries. I'll wait as long as you need. I know. He leaned into my touch. That's why I trust you. We stood there in the snow, surrounded by death and destruction, holding each other. And somehow, impossibly, it felt like hope. Inside, Sarah had her laptop open, files spreading across multiple screens. Quinn, if you're serious about taking down the syndicate, I need everything you remember. Locations, names, financial records. I can do better than remember. Quinn moved to the bed, pulled out a small object from beneath the mattress. A USB drive. I stole this 3 months ago. Spent weeks downloading files whenever Victor left his office unlocked. It's everything. Sarah's eyes went wide. You had this the whole time? It's why they wanted me back so badly. Victor knew someone accessed his system. He just didn't know it was me. Quinn handed her the drive. Can you use it? Can I? Quinn, this is gold. With this, we can expose everyone. The clients, the politicians, the pack alphas. We can bring the entire operation down. Good. Quinn's voice was hard. Do it. Expose them all. Sarah was already working, fingers flying across the keyboard. Give me 6 hours. I'll have this distributed so thoroughly that even if they kill us all, the information stays public. Quinn pulled me outside, away from the cabin, into the quiet of the forest. Stars were coming out overhead. He stopped at the tree, turned to face me. I need to tell you something, before this goes any further. Dread coiled in my stomach. Okay. The 11 children I had, the ones they took, I don't know where they are. Don't know if they're alive or dead or suffering. And part of me is relieved I don't know. Because if I knew, I'd have to try to save them, and I can't. I can't save them and River and Sky. I don't have the strength. Quinn. I'm choosing these 2 over those 11. I'm choosing the children I can save over the children I've already lost. And that makes me human. I closed the distance between us. That makes you human. You can't save everyone, Quinn. But what if they're out there? What if they're waiting for me? Then we'll find them. After we take down the syndicate, after River and Sky are born, we'll look. We'll use every resource we have. And if they're out there, if they're alive, we'll bring them home. Hope and agony warred in his expression. You'd do that? Even though they're not yours. If we're doing this, if we're really doing this, then they are mine. You, River, Sky, and any other children you have. All of you. I rested my forehead against his. That's what it means to be pack. To be family. Quinn made a broken sound, wrapped his arms around me, and held on. I don't deserve you. You deserve everything. I held him tighter. And I'm going to spend however long it takes proving that to you. For the first time since I'd found him in that trap, Quinn's scent changed. The fear stink faded, replaced by something warm. Something like trust. When you court me, when this is all over, I want it to be real. Not just because we are mates. I want to choose you. Really choose you. You will, I promised. Every day, every moment. You'll have the choice. I kissed him then. Properly this time, not desperate or rushed but intentional. He kissed back with equal intent, and I felt the bond beginning to form. When we broke apart, Quinn was smiling. Really smiling. We're insane, aren't we? Planning a future in the middle of a war. Completely. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Inside, Sarah had news. Files are uploaded. Distributed to 20 different news outlets and law enforcement agencies. As of 10 minutes ago, the syndicate is officially exposed. Headlines were already breaking on Martin's phone. International trafficking ring exposed. Prominent businessmen linked to Omega breeding program. It's working, Martin said, voice filled with awe. They can't bury this. Too big. Quinn stared at the screen. It's really over? Not over, I corrected. But ending. The syndicate's done. And you're free. He sagged against me, crying. Not from grief or pain, but relief. Pure, overwhelming relief. Free, he whispered. You're free. And you're mine. If you want to be. He looked up at me, tears streaming, and smiled. I want to be. And there, in that blood-stained cabin surrounded by the wreckage of Victor Cross's empire, Quinn chose me. My alpha sang. 3 days later, we moved to Quinn's mother's cabin. Remote, beautiful. The kind of place where you could breathe. Gray and the others arrived to help fortify it. Kale and Sarah brought supplies. Martin stayed for 2 weeks, teaching Quinn how to shoot, how to defend himself, how to be strong without being afraid. And slowly, carefully, Quinn began to heal. Not all at once. Not completely. There were still nightmares, still moments when he'd flinch or need space. But there were also moments when he'd laugh, when he'd reach for my hand first, when he'd fall asleep against my shoulder without fear. The bond grew stronger. Not forced, not claimed, but chosen. 1 month after Victor's death, Quinn woke me in the middle of the night. Mathias, it's time. The pups were coming. River was born first, screaming and perfect. Sarah caught him, placed him on Quinn's chest. Quinn sobbed, touched his son's face with shaking fingers. River, my River. Sky came 20 minutes later, quieter, smaller, but just as perfect. A little girl with dark hair and her father's eyes. Sky, River and Sky, my babies. I knelt beside the bed, looking at the 3 of them, and felt something inside me settle. Complete. They're beautiful, I said, voice rough. They're perfect. Quinn looked at me, tears streaming. Thank you for saving us. Thank you for trusting me, for choosing me. He leaned forward, kissed me softly. I'll choose you every day. And I'll choose you, I promised. Every day. Forever. 3 years later, the syndicate was fully dismantled. Facilities shut down. Children rescued, including 3 of Quinn's 11. The others were still missing, but we hadn't stopped looking. Quinn and I stood in the meadow watching our children play. River and Sky, now joined by 2 more, twins again because apparently that was our thing. And 3 others, the recovered children from Quinn's past, adopted officially, loved completely. Quinn looked at me, smiled, and took my hand. Thank you for everything. Thank you for trusting me, for loving me, for giving me this. I gestured at the children, the cabin, the life we'd built. Family, home, everything. Quinn leaned up, kissed me softly. Through the bond, I felt his love, his contentment, his absolute certainty that this us was exactly where he was meant to be. Our children called for us, and we went to them together. This was what I'd been fighting for all along. Not revenge. Not justice. Just this. Just love. And I couldn't ask for anything more better than this. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the story, tell us your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, keep daydreaming in BL.